The Hospital, a short story by Myra Sherman. Narrated by Diane Havens. Sometimes I forget I'm a street-aged addled mess. I expect to be treated with consideration, like a normal person. So when I come to, shackled by the ankle to a metal bed, I'm terrified. Shackles and chains are for prisoners, for people who've lost their rights, who don't matter. I've never been in jail. Whenever I was arrested, the cops let me go. Maybe the charges weren't serious enough. Maybe they didn't want to waste time on a harmless old lady. I never asked. They never told. I've only been hospitalized a few times, picked up on a 72-hour hold and brought to county psych. I hated being a patient, being on the wrong side of the bed, the one in the bed. But even on a hold, I was never chained like an animal. I used to be a social worker. Now I'm not. I used to be a person. I'm flat on my back without a pillow, half covered by a washed-out waffle blanket, wearing a blue cotton gown. The ceiling has colorless, perforated tiles and fluorescent light fixtures. The room smells of disinfectant and death, like a morgue. I could be anywhere. I could be nowhere. I could be damned and in hell. Fear shuts my eyes. My throat's scraped and raw, my mouth's dry. I keep my eyes closed. When I try to scream, I cronk like a goose. I expect nothing. I want everything. What I get is Deputy Moses from the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. "So you're back with the living," he says. I keep my eyes shut. The image of Moses parting the Red Sea from Bat Mitzvah class floats before me. Moses raises his hand. A miracle. "She's awake?" a woman asks. I smell musk perfume, like teenagers wear. "Mary, Miss Motter, can you sit up?" I remember being stranded in Gomez, drinking Cisco and finding the joint. I was on my way to the hospital to get water. The woman's hand is on my arm. "Mary, get up. Miss Motter." "Miss Motter, this is Deputy Moses. We don't got time for game playing here. If you're awake, you need to sit up and open your eyes. Nurse here needs to check you out." He grabs me by the shoulders and pulls me up, like a piece of meat with no value. I hate him. I hate myself. When I open my eyes, I see a freckled youngster. Deputy Moses. A nurse in teddy bear scrubs is by his side. Ms. Musk. He looks too young to shave. She looks older than she smells. The nurse takes my pulse and blood pressure. She says the doctor will be in to see me. I remember being thirsty. I'm still thirsty. "You're feeling better, Mary?" the nurse asks. I shake my head. "Streets. Mother Mary," I tell her. My tongue feels swollen and blistered. I can barely talk. They call me Mother Mary. They call me Mater Mary, Mary Mater, let them. A rose by any other name. Better than my real name. Better than to say I'm Melody Marcus. At least the initials are the same. And I'm not really Melody Marcus anymore. "Time for your meds," the nurse says. "Meds? What meds? No wonder I can't think." I shake my head and push the paper medicine cup away. I grab the water. The nurse jumps back like she's afraid. "You're on a hold," she says. "The hearing officer authorized involuntary treatment." I sit up straighter and shake my head again. "Please, more water." "Gotta cooperate first," Deputy Moses says. I give up and take the pills. They'll force me if I keep refusing, restrain me and shoot me up. "What are they?" "Just to calm you down." The nurse gives me more water. "I want to see a doctor." "You will. All in good time. Just try and relax now. Where am I? You're on the psychiatric unit of Franklin County Hospital, the nurse says. You're in jail custody, Deputy Moses says. I can't be. The investigating detective will explain. He looks at me like I'm crazy, which of course he thinks I am. Fear races down my veins and up into my brain. My stomach knots, my bowels loosen. I'm about to have an accident. It kills me having to ask for the bathroom, but what can I do? Deputy Moses removes the metal chain from the bed, but leaves the cuff on my ankle. Then he cuffs and attaches the chain to my other ankle. I can get out of bed. I can hobble like a prisoner in a chain gang. I shuffle to the bathroom with the deputy watching. I feel air on my back where my gown's pulled open. Fuck him. If he wants to get an eyeful of old crinkled ass, let him. I wait until I'm behind the closed bathroom door before I start crying. I can't cope, can't comprehend. I am so afraid, so afraid. At least on the streets, I was my own person, not subject to the whim and mercy of cops and nurses who don't know me and don't want to. The way I'm being treated means serious trouble. I don't remember doing anything against the law, anything criminal. I was looking for water, heading to the hospital, this hospital. But I never expected to be held against my will, in sheriff's custody. What do they think I did? What about my rights? When I worked at Concord Hospital, I got in trouble for letting the police question a patient. The medical director chewed me out. The social services director said I was on thin ice. I'd never worked at a private hospital before. I didn't know the rules were different. The ice broke when an anorexic patient said I threatened her. All I did was tell her to eat, to say she'd die if she didn't. "Hey, Mary, what are you doing in there?" Deputy Moses yells. He knocks on the door. "Chop, chop," he says. "Ain't got all day." I look in the bathroom mirror and see a weathered woman with dark shadowed eyes and frizzy, dusty hair. Too young for a crone, but well on her way. "Out of there, now," Deputy Moses yells. When I open the door, he grabs my arm and pulls me to the bed, unfastens the chain between the ankle cuffs, and chains me to the bed. He leaves the second cuff, the unsecured cuff, on my ankle. The meds are getting to me. My mouth's dry again, my head's fuzzy, my mind's a blank. Empty nothingness is me. I doze off. I wake up. An orderly puts a food tray on the bedside table. "Lunch," he says, keeping his distance like I'm contagious. He's one of those big muscle-turning-to-fat aides you only see on psych wards. Good for the dirty work of tackling the crazies and taking them down. Even with the medication dulling my senses, I'm starving. My stomach feels stuck to my spine. Lunch is a half pint of milk and white bread, smeared with processed orange cheese. I'm years from being a picky eater. A devotee of brie and baguettes, of Zinfandel and Pinot Noir. My last meal was bum wine and fries. I gulp the milk and devour the sandwich. When I'm done, I push the tray away. When I close my eyes, I see myself bending over a feeding trough, slurping slops.